It comes down. Who brings it down? Jibreel alayhi salam. So then we find in the Quran, إِنَّهُ لَقَوْلُ رَسُولٍ كَرِيمٍ ذِي قُوَّةٍ. When you deliver a classified document, like a high-value document, like the government wants to send something from DC to, let's say, Seattle, Washington, how would they send it? FedEx or regular mail? How would they send a high-classified document? What do you think they would do? No, it wouldn't be registered. Classified documents would be like like the armored vehicle and security details, and it would be high-level clearance. People will travel with it, or a private plane will go, or something like that, right? Some special arrangements are made when classified documents are delivered. And the people delivering them have to be high clearance. They just can't be just some guy, security guy or delivery guy, because it's too valuable information. So first Allah tells us Jibreel is the one. Whose classification? What's his security clearance level? And Allah tells us, right under the arsh, his security clearance is, he's stationed over there. That's his place. And the one delivering it has to be strong enough, so if somebody tries to attack and steal this information, they should be able to defend it. So he says, ذِي قُوَّةٍ. He's strong. Who's going to mess with Jibreel alayhi salam? Look at his strength. Allah said, وَلَقَدْ رَآهُ بِالْأُفُقِ الْمُبِينِ. He saw him across the entire horizon, taking over the entire horizon. This is when the messenger saw Jibreel alayhi salam. So he's the one delivering it, and not only is he delivering it, he's got an entire detail, security detail with a follower. He's followed. In other words, he doesn't just deliver it alone, an entire entourage of security comes. This is the way in which revelation comes down to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is not something small. So it comes to him, subhanAllah, in this way. So Allah protects the way we should think about revelation. How Allah delivered this revelation in the realm of the unseen. Nowadays we have a discussion, how was the Quran preserved? Right? These parchments and these things, and this surah and that, this or that, the one who believes, what do they know about this revelation? These things are laughable. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Do you know how this revelation came? SubhanAllah, Allah protected it. So it gives the believer a sense of conviction above anything else. And when you hear these lowly discussions, they don't affect you. But when you're not connected to the Quran, what happens when you hear these things? You know what happens to the youth around you that take a philosophy course or two, or Islamic studies, or Islamic studies 101, or Middle Eastern studies? What happens to them after one course? They get messed up in their head. Why? There is no connection to the Quran. We're not connected with this book. We're not, entangled in its thought. We haven't become one with it. And this is something that was the legacy of our companions. Umar ibn Khattab used to go around and check with everyone. Al-halaqat of the masajid, al-halaqat of Quran going on in every masjid. This was the culture of the Sahaba. This is absolutely critical. So where do you guys begin, practically speaking? Where do you begin? Where do you begin to develop this strong relationship with the Quran? Begin with the surah. You look at the entire Quran and say, okay, forget that. This is too much. Begin with the surah. Memorize the surah. Study a surah. Listen to a dars on the surah. Get the imam to give you a tafsir class on that surah. Right? Then recite that surah in the salah. Then think deeply about that surah. Then look outside and see what did Allah talk about in that surah that you see outside. For example, you memorize something so small like Surah Al-Asr. Surah Al-Asr. Every time you look at that clock back there, what do you say to yourself? Well, Al-Asr it changes the way you look at a clock. Every time you see Asr time coming, what do you say to yourself? Well, Asr. Every time the professor says you only have 3 weeks left of the semester to be over, you say, oh, seriously. Now what happens is the surah has become part of your life. It's become part of your thinking. You've embedded it into your life. Then you move on to what? The next surah. The next surah. The next time. And every time you come into these contact with the outside world, it brings you back to the Quran. This is back and forth with the Quran. Right? This is what we have to develop. And really, when you don't have this, there's a spiritual void. When you don't have a serious connection with the Quran, your salah is empty. You don't feel anything in salah when you hear the words. And when you don't feel anything, your heart feels, the light is there, but it hasn't met the other light, right? So what does the heart try to do? It tries to find other things to fill that void. So when you say you feel an itch if you haven't gone to see that movie in the theater, or if you haven't gone to play pool with your buddies, or play that app for hours and hours on your iPhone or something, you fill that void with something, because your heart will feel that void. But nothing will fill that void like what? Like the remembrance of Allah, and the ultimate remembrance of Allah is Quran itself. This is nothing but a reminder. This is nothing but a powerful means of delivering a reminder. وَذَكِّرْ الْقُرْآنِ, remind with the Qur'an. Reminder, reminder, reminder. Allah keeps saying reminder. It's such an awesome reminder. Last thing I'll say, and break inshallah. Last thing I'll say, usually when somebody reminds you of something, it's one of two things. Remind you of something in the past, or remind you of something in the future that you forgot about that you have to worry about. Hey, do you remember the finals next week? Right? Or did you forget what happened in that time? You got caught cheating? Right? You're getting reminded either by the past or by the future. What does the Quran do? It reminds you of the people of the past. Then it reminds you of what's going to happen to you and me where? In the future. It takes us to the future and tells us this. Remember this. Imprint it in your mind that Allah will be saying this, this, and this. Imprint it in your mind. Allah will be saying to the believers, كُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا هَنِيئًا بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. Eat and drink freely, live it up, because of the good things you used to do. Enjoy yourselves, party. Allah is commanding the believers, eat it up and enjoy. Hani'an, carefree. Remember that day. Remember, don't forget to work for that day when I say that to you. See how Allah Azza reminds, what a powerful reminder. And so, in this last 2 minutes, wrapping up this comment, where does a believer develop a relationship with the Quran? Where? 2 places. They're really the same. The prayer, number one, on a daily basis, the prayer is what's the longest part of the salah? Right? This is a divine installation. This is taught by the Messenger himself. The longest part of the salah is standing. And what are we doing when we're standing? We're reciting Quran. We're standing here and we're reciting Quran. So we're listening to Quran. That's what we're doing. This is really where our reform takes place. Our relationship with Quran is revived in the salah itself. You don't even have to have an outside program and pass out flyers or an event. The event is already in there, designed by Allah. And then there's a convention every week. There's the weekly event, then there's the convention at the end. What is that convention? The Friday prayer and the khutbah. If you look at the khutbah, the khutbahs of the Messenger, they were just ayat of Quran. There was nothing else. He would begin with the Alhamdulillah, the salawat upon the Messenger, and he would recite some ayat of Quran in salah. The khutbah itself was what? Quran, multiple khutbahs of the Messenger, just entirely ayat of the Quran. So what is the khutbah supposed to be? A reminder from the Quran. And from a practical point of view, a reminder that people can memorize. So do a reminder from this Quran, because most people memorize. Or do a reminder from 2 ayat of Quran and pass it out to the community and say, memorize these ayat and use them in salah this whole week. And next week we'll do 2 other ayat and remind people. It's a practical reminder. Bring Quran into your life. And the means of it, salah, and of course the Jama'ah prayer. Come to Jama'ah early, take precautions of it. Come, well dressed. Come take it like a serious event. Like people get dressed for graduation, and people get dressed, for a job interview. Get dressed, you're meeting with Allah, man. Get dressed. Come early and listen intently. This is the, even if the khutbah is boring, don't worry about it. Don't worry, don't say it's not entertaining, that's why I come late. Don't do that to yourself. You're coming for the sake of Allah. May Allah Azza wa Jalla give us the ability to think and to understand the world around us by means of His ayat. May Allah give us a true love of the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah give us a correct understanding of His book and a correct understanding of the Sunnah of His Messenger. And may Allah grant all of us, our children, our families, real khushu', real attentiveness and humility, and overwhelming awe of Allah Azza wa Jalla in every single one of our salawat. And may He grant us genuine tears of fear of Him in our salawat. Barakallahu lakum fil Qur'an al-Hakim. ونفعني وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.